YouTube above average Cody here, jumping back on the viewer VOD review train, and today we try to help improve the gameplay of Altoh here with some Oddball Silver 4 gameplay. This may be the lowest rank that we've VOD reviewed on the channel, and I'm going to do my best to give all of the tips and teaching points that I can to hopefully improve Altoh's and hopefully your guys watching at home gameplay as well. Now, diving right in here, I'd really like to see you be more ready to shoot over the spanker. Now, I do enjoy that you are looking at the power weapon, but if you're going to take this pillar and chow, you want to line it up, have your reticle ready, and then be ready to shoot. Here, you kind of just run out, and then you decide, hey, I'm going to, start shooting. So my first tip here is off the start, know where you want to go for the spanker, get there quickly, and then just be ready to shoot at it if that's the play you want to make. But also, you see all of your teammates kind of running right down to the front here. Don't be afraid to take a bit of a different angle. Either go up top A here. I personally like to jump into tires and sit on the little planter and look down at it. You can also see all the way across C steps. But whatever you're going to do, be confident with it and be ready to shoot across here. So, hanging out mid, I don't really mind these shots at all. I like that you're kind of watching over spank and trying to keep damage laid down on these enemies. The enemy actually runs out and grabs the oddball, and you guys are still kind of just shooting out into mid. And now I like the play of you going towards top B here, because you kind of want to spread the map a little bit, make the push come in from different angles. But if you're going to make this solo push, you have to be very ready to take any fights, and you're actually met with an enemy just absolutely sprinting right through. And right from this gunfight, I can tell you, just kind of helping you with your individual gunfight and aim, your sensitivity is definitely a little bit too high. And you can see here how you were trying to track this guy and you dragged your reticle way too far. That's called over-aiming. And he jumps up. You actually overcorrect too far to the left. And then you're kind of just windmilling and cookie cutting all around. Drop that sensitivity. Maybe not all the way down, but definitely lower than this. You want a nice smooth reticle control over the enemy the entire time. So to recap this sequence, make sure you're ready to take a fight. You always want to be looking where you are going and ready. You want to evaluate the situation so that right when you see this enemy, you can stop and take the moment to shoot him. And he actually just sprints right past you. And you do a good job getting a couple shots, but again, once you start right stick aiming, you're kind of just pulling it all over the place. So 1, I would lower your sensitivity, and 2, don't be so heavy on the right stick. Try to use a little bit of left stick to adjust your aim. I always say right stick to get the reticle over to the enemy, and then left stick to keep the reticle over the enemy during the gunfight. Obviously, it's B steps, so there's a bit of elevation change, but the lower sensitivity definitely would have helped you a lot here. And also, throwing the grenade mid-gunfight, I would probably either start the fight with the grenade or end the fight with a grenade, as opposed to just throwing it mid-gunfight, even though you were reloading. But on to your next life here. So off spawn, you actually spawn up cafeteria, and what I tell everybody is always look and see what your teammates are doing off spawn. That is going to be the best dictator on where you should move around the map. And you actually spawn up with 1. You see 1 teammate fighting ball, so I like the idea to try to get to ball as quickly as possible. Grab those spikes. Your teammate actually dies and you're running in. You're actually turning your back to where the action is potentially going to come from. I do like that you're checking back to see if your teammates are following you. But generally, again, if you're running in towards where there are potential enemies, you want to look at where you are headed so you are ready to shoot something if something is there, right? So you're turning your back. If an enemy comes around that corner, you're a sitting duck here, not even looking at them. And now you run over, you grab the ball, and you instantly just start running away with it. And you're met with this enemy here. You put in a few good shots. Enemy drops in front of you. And for lack of a better way to describe this, this is absolutely just a cluster F here. This is an absolute mosh pit of people just shooting their guns. So to break this down and what I'd like to see you do in your future games here in Halo Infinite Ranked, I want you to slow down. Just slow it down. If you just stop and take in what's going on around you, there is nothing wrong with that. Halo, I did see that you mentioned that you played a lot of Call of Duty and I believe Overwatch. Those games are they can be a lot of attacking and then reacting. Halo's much more of a game of chess where you want to know what's going on, take in the information, and then make a move, right? So when you get this oddball, you don't necessarily have to panic with it. You know, you can pick it up, maybe see if there's pressure, maybe even play it out. What I'd prefer to do in this situation is I pick up the oddball, I'm going to throw it down to a less favorable position, and then I'm going to take the fights and kind of see what's going on with enemies here, right? And then when you get down to this situation, just try to fight this guy, shoot, and then stop, and then just stay here. You don't have to do anything. You have a teammate in there with you. You kind of just have to, you could, again, wait and see how this plays out. An enemy drops on you, but instead you're kind of just jumping, you're running, you're shooting. You know, you don't even know which one you want to shoot at. There's too many for you. If you just stay in one place, I promise you, these fellas are just going to be running around like ants out of a hill, and then you can just stand there and just shoot them. So to recap, drop that sensitivity, work on your aim, slow it down, and I promise you, in these lobbies, you are going to absolutely make these kids look silly. But right now, you're kind of just giving into the chaos. You're just running in, you know, you're moving, you're not really hitting anything, you're kind of just shooting all willy-nilly. You very much want to have a plan before you go in. We saw this with your attempt at rockets at the beginning of the game, and then we saw this right here. Have a plan, and then execute the plan. So right here, you want to stop and think about where your teammates are. You're doing a good job looking. You see Stiff here moving towards the ball, so you're going to take a different angle along with him. And you see 3 enemies here, right? You see them. I like that you're using your cover. You're doing a great job here. Maybe get a grenade in there. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. But see, you're not just sprinting in. You're not just running in. You knew the ball was there, and you're ready to shoot it. Now, if you can just do that in every situation that you come across on the maps, your gameplay is going to change drastically. But see how you're kind of like playing slow and like trying to see what's going on? You left that position a little too soon there, but you were able to recognize that, and now you're pushing with your team. You're putting in good shots. And again, you're kind of turning your back to where the enemy is potentially coming from. And right here, you never want to see this happen. You do not all want to be on top of the oddball at all. You guys have a hold here. You want to spread out and eat up some of the map. Good job seeing that there's a weapon there. And you're actually the only one that sees Spankers coming up. Nobody's really playing for it. And I'm hoping you switch weapons before you try to fight this fella. You do not. You actually hit the empty mag. So again, just play slow and just think about what's going on. So to walk you through this sequence here, right? So you guys collapse on the oddball. You get all the kills. And you guys are now securing your first real ball time of the game, right? So right from this moment, the enemy's in the respawn screen. You have to spread out and eat up the map. You want to meet those spawners before they're able to just run over to you. And this goes for just about any game mode here, right? So you want to get as much information as possible. Instead, you guys are kind of sitting in PD. And I'll show you what's going to happen with that. This guy has a big oddball marker on his head. They are going to sprint right at you. And that is exactly what happens here. Even though Spanker's up, they get there very quickly. To some extent, they catch you guys off guard. And all they have to do is run in and just get the kills here. All of you guys are in PD. Couple good grenades. One rocket comes in. Your entire team is dead right there. So again, in a perfect situation here, you guys spread out of PD. Leave the ball carrier in PD. Perfect. If you really want to leave someone on him, maybe one person at most, but you want to push out and meet those spawners. Because if you do not meet those spawners, well, you saw what happened if you don't meet those spawners. But in a perfect situation, you want to push out and give them some opposition so that they go, oh, whoa, I can't just run in there. I'm going to die, right? You want to make them think that they're going to get killed before they're able to get to the ball carrier, right? And also, you have Spanker coming up in 5 seconds. You want to set up for that. Whatever you have to do, you have to secure that power weapon or it will be used against you. So you can see here how you have to think about all of this stuff before you even make a move. Halo can be very predictable. You can control spawns very easily, especially on a map like Streets. And you can very much control the other team, and you can hold that oddball for as long as you can keep the kills coming. But you have to have a plan in place and what you're going to do before it happens. So right here, I can tell you off spawn. I'm you right now. I spawn up. I see teammates to my left on Pink Street over by the Bulldog spawn. I know that that side is likely safe. We are spawning up there. We have an enemy back A. The left side of the map is safe. There are going to be enemies on the right side going up driveway to B on the way to the ball, right? So I can either A, go left the safe way with my teammates to hopefully ensure that we can push the same angle, which is probably the highest percentage play, or I can go right, potentially run into some gunfights, and then hopefully win them and buy more time for my teammates to push it from the left side. So let's see how you play this here. You see one top A, you stop to ping it up, and you're just running through the middle of the map. You're looking around to see where your teammates are, and now you're going to go back A. You're spending quite a bit of time hunting for this fella here. And now you guys just push into PD eventually. And during all that, they actually got enough ball time to win the round. Pretty unfortunate here. So another thing with you kind of going through the center of the map is those two choices that I laid out here. They have 79 points already. There has to be a sense of urgency with it here. So you don't really want to stop too much. Stop to ping this guy up. Pinging him up once is more than enough. And then you want to get to that ball quickly. You can see your teammates trying to get there very quickly. But again, you have to take in all this information and think about what's going to happen before it actually happens. So, and then this long route here, they're at 95 points already. You're still looking for this other kill. You really should have been pushing the oddball player with your teammates. But that's okay. We'll see how you fare in round 2. But the main takeaways from round 1 are taking the information and then do something with that information. That's really the easiest way to sum it up here. So again, let's see how you play Spanker here. Ooh, I like the shots flying out here. You're doing a good job. Fantastic kills here. I like what I'm seeing. Oh, you got to be ready to hold X on that Spanker. You have to be ready to hold X on that. So you had 2 very good kills here. I'm really impressed with these shots. The only critique I will give you is you are completely out in the open. Like, very good shots, but definitely try to work around some cover here or stay close to cover. And then you just got to be ready to grab that rocket launcher because you can see he grabbed it and you actually see it drop right in front of you here. So you just got to be ready to grab that and then maybe back up with it. Instead, you miss it. You try to go back. You try to run forwards, and then you're kind of just a free kill there. But overall, a good start. I did really like those shots at the beginning. Fantastic job getting those 2 kills for your team. You guys actually end up with the ball, and I would have to imagine that you guys have the rocket launcher. And I think what you're actually doing is you're flying out looking for it. Don't forget you do have AI scan in this game. So from right up here, you can actually check to see if those rockets are still on the ground. If you press, I believe default is down on the D-pad, you can hit that. It will scan the ground, and if it's down there, it'll be highlighted, I believe, yellow if it is still sitting there. And this saves you running out having to kind of check for it. And now, see, you're kind of just running around the map all willy-nilly until you find somebody. And this is what I definitely like to call the Call of Duty mindset. Many people who play Call of Duty a lot, especially casually, they kind of just run around the map and then just react and then they fight somebody. Halo's more of a setup and kind of watch an angle. And then once you find the enemy, then you can make a play. So I don't really want to see just running around the map like this, just looking for people. You very much just want to set up, watch an angle, chill, and wait till information comes to you. And it's really that simple sometimes. Do not overcomplicate Halo, I promise you. You actually look right at the shotgun being up here on the wall, and then you run away from it. Be very aware of wall weapons, especially guns like the Bulldog on streets. Very, very important to have in your team's hands. And you had no info on Pink Street, you actually could have just stayed there. You could have just stayed over there and then looked across to, like, B-Rail. You don't always have to be on top of the oddball, like I said. So you guys are all bunched up. I just watched that plasma grenade do an unhealthy amount of damage to all of these players here, and that's a big reason why you really want to spread out. Good job taking that gunfight. Definitely work on your hip fire a little bit. Being scoped in isn't always the best like it is in Call of Duty. Nice little double kill there. Good job waiting to get your shields back. You're pretty ready for the next one, but again, that high sensitivity is kind of throwing you off, but you do a good job to get that trade. So you definitely have the skills to win the gunfights. I definitely think with a bit of a lower sensitivity and a little bit more left stick aim, you'll be shocked at how much better you can do in these gunfights. And I don't think you meant to throw that grenade. You meant to use the threat seeker, and you kind of just sent it into the sky. I'm sure that was just a little mistake there. And see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You could just stay here Pink Street. Maybe not in this exact position, but see how you're kind of just chilling, waiting for information? This is as easy as it gets sometimes, especially when you guys are holding the oddball. And now you see a death here, so you're going to move back and try to help the oddball. a pretty good job here, but again, you don't have to keep like sprinting at this guy. To take the gunfight, you don't just have to keep running at him. You can very much just let him come to you, because now you're kind of caught in this awkward position. They're actually getting ball time. And see, you're still like running around, like looking at everything. Just slow it down. Slow it down. Keep that reticle up and just be ready to shoot. And right here, you should be turning and checking driveway after you get this kill. Perfect. I like what I'm seeing, because that's chances are they're coming from that way. Once you don't see somebody, run back and check a different angle. Because right now, all your teammates are getting evaporated while you're kind of there checking driveway. So when I said I would check driveway, after you get this kill, I'm looking driveway. When I don't see anybody, I'm running right back to my teammates, because if they're not coming this way, chances are they're wrapping around the map on the far side, which is what happened. So while you're here checking driveway, you're pinging up PD or a subway. You don't really know if anyone's back there. And then while this is going on, your teammates are actually getting destroyed by rockets and the enemies pushing from a different angle. So again, always know that if you do not see enemies coming from one way, chances are really, really good they're coming from a different way. And now you're going out mid. Again, you're running. You're trying to look. And now you're trying to shoot these enemies. So the best way I want to describe this to you is when you have all your teammates in one area of the map, chances are the enemies are coming from 3 lanes. Your right, the middle, or the left, especially on streets being a traditional 3-lane map. You should be watching one of these lanes, or maybe even have 2 of these lanes in your angle, and then when they come to you, that is when you engage in the gunfights and shoot them. The more you do that, the more successful you will be, especially in a game mode like Oddball. There's really no need to be just running around the map, sprinting, finding the enemies. Again, Halo Infinite is a game of chess. When you are in control, you want to keep that control. If you go out and just run around the map, it is very easy to get caught in a 2v1. It is very easy to get picked off, and this is what gives your team the disadvantage. When you have the advantage, you have to do everything you can to keep the advantage. So hold those positions, watch those angles, keep your aim ready, and just always have a plan. If you're doing what I just said, you're holding the area of the map, hold that area of the map until you get broken down by the other team. When that happens, you spawn up, figure out what you're going to do to help your teammates. You're all working towards a common goal, and you always have to be thinking, am I trying to gain map control? Do I already have the map control? Or am I waiting for my teammates to spawn up so that we can figure out what we are going to do? A nice little triple kill in the background here while I'm talking. But those are really the main points that I want you to go about in your future games here. Halo is a game of chess. I've said it 100 times because it really, really is. And I say that because you're coming from Call of Duty here, as did I when I first started playing Halo Infinite. So you really have to do less of the attack, and then I'll just react when it happens. You want to do more anticipating, thinking about where the enemies are coming from, and have a plan before you engage in these gunfights here. And do that along with using your left stick, fight from cover, lower that sensitivity a little tiny bit, and you'll find that you can improve very, very quickly in your gameplay, especially down at Silver 4 where you are. You implement that stuff, you are going to climb in no time, and I promise you that. And you actually do go on to win this game, so nice work from you and your team. I really hope to see you implement everything that I gave you in this video, and I'd love to see you hit me with a follow-up VOD review, because, again, no disrespect, but I always say silver and gold are the easiest ranks to improve out of, because they are things that you can implement. If you implement everything I gave you today, I promise you can climb up to gold no problem. All you have to do is slow down your gameplay, because fundamentals are such a big part of Halo. The sooner you put them into your gameplay, the sooner you can really start playing the game the way it should be played, and the sooner you will climb far past everybody in these current lobbies. So Altoh, I really hoped everything in this video helped you out. I'm sure there'll be a lot of helpful comments down below for you as well. Hopefully everybody is nice and respectful. But outside of that, guys, subscribe to the channel. A lot of Halo Infinite content. Live stream it 5 days a week. Going to be mixing in some Modern Warfare 3 ranked once it drops next week. And also leave a like on the video. I already mentioned leaving a comment. Any other tips here for Altoh here to climb out of Silver 4? And then finally, guys, channel membership. Super thanks for the support momentarily. It helps me out a lot as a content creator. Of course, these VOD submissions are completely free. If you'd like to enter one yourself, the link to join the Discord is down below. And we have a VOD submissions channel, and you can just link some gameplay there. I do have quite a few lined up. I'm trying to keep up with them. And thank you, everybody who submitted, for being so patient. But alrighty, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. Altoh, get out there, improve your rank, and do some climbing through the rank system, I guess. I don't think there's a better way to say it than that. But alrighty, guys. Thank you so much. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.